And, you know, this favors Kimmel because he really dropped back during that long green flag run. We're going to have a short track Saturday night shootout when we get the green flag. Going to be less than 20 to go.
We're going to have the B main shootout.
Yeah.
This is shorter than your normal Saturday night feature. This is the Consi. This is the last chance right here. We're going to have about 20 laps to go when we get back to green flag racing. And you know, we've talked to Frank about this in the past. We talked to him about it at Elko when he won race 78 at the beginning of June. You know, how much does it come into the back of your mind that you are closing in on Iggy Katona's win record? And he admitted it. It's there. He knows that history is going to be made the next time he goes to the winner's circle. And here he is leading with 20 laps to go. I think I know Frank well enough that that's not what he's thinking about right now. But if he is able to pull this off, as soon as he takes that checkered flag, that's all he's going to be thinking about is, I finally did it. I have tied Iggy's record. Now breaking it's the next step, but well, we are literally on the verge of history here this afternoon as Frank Kimmel does have the lead with just 20 laps to go here at Winchester, on his way to potentially tying Iggy Katona's all-time win record here in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menard.
And Frank really questioned whether or not he would win again because last year he snapped a 4-year dry spell. And he said, and we saw how much emotion Frank had in Victory Lane last year at Springfield and Lucas Oil Raceway. And he said, we asked him, why so much emotion? He said, because I don't know if I'm ever going to get back to Victory Lane, man. I got to appreciate this because I'm not going to be able to go out and win.
Yeah, when you're
races.
reeling off 10 or 12 a year, it seems like it's easy. It seems like you're going to be able to do it forever and ever and ever. And then suddenly that goes away. And I think every win from there on out, it has a little additional meaning. And boy, the move to ThorSport Racing really has re-energized Frank Kimmel's career. Here he is in contention for win 79 and championship number 10. And we're happy to be a part of it here at the ARCA Racing Network. Again, Frank Kimmel, currently your leader as we have just what will be 19 laps to go to history here at the Winchester Speedway.
Pace car starting to duck off now in turn 4. Fans on their feet here. Green flag waving for Frank Kimmel, and he gets a great jump here across the front finish line. 2 car lengths now, making 3 car lengths as Brendan Poole looking to the outside of Austin Wainsell for that runner-up spot.
Brendan Poole tried to roll the outside group through turns 1 and 2. Austin Wainsell slammed the door shut coming down the back straightaway, but now they're both trying to chase down Frank Kimmel as he leads across the stretch to complete lap 182, just 18 to go here at Winchester.
22 of Austin Wainsell a little bit sideways coming out of turn 2. That allows Brendan Poole to get half a car length off. Now Poole to the rear end in turn 3. Can Brendan Poole go to the bottom? No. Self shuts the door. Frank Kimmel shooting away.
Battle is on for that second spot. Brendan Poole having no other option right now but to follow the tire tracks of Austin Wainsell, who now has opened up a 3-car length lead. Is Austin Wainsell now starting to track down Frank Kimmel for the lead.
Austin Wainsell running that car very hard, kicking her sideways the last couple of laps, and now starting to gain a little bit of ground in the middle of turn 2. He is now 4 car lengths off the rear end. Frank Kimmel leads the charge into turn 4, right up against the wall.
Austin Wainsell using that extreme low move through turns 3 and 4. It looks like he is ever so slightly starting to close in on the back bumper of that number 44 Ansel Menard's Toyota. Will we have a race for it here at the end of the Herr's Chase to Taste 200?
We talked about the Cunningham Motorsports team. They've won the last 2 races here at the Winchester Speedway. 2011, they won with Dakota Armstrong. Last year, they won with Alex Bowman. Can they make it 3 in a row with Austin Wainsell? Now 4 car lengths back on the bottom now in turn 4, trying to reel in. Frank Kimmel is ahead to the start-finish line.
Frank Kimmel using that high groove through turns 3 and 4, keeping it in the middle. Through turns 1 and 2, Kimmel now completing lap 187 this time by. We will have 12 to go in the Herr's Chase to Taste 200. Frank Kimmel now starting to feel a little bit of pressure from Austin Wainsell as they work to the outside of Milcanuno through turns 1 and 2.
Austin Wainsell been dipping a little bit lower, half a groove lower in turns 1 and 2, and it's really been working for him now as he's on the bottom of the racetrack trying to reel in Frank Kimmel about 3 car lengths back as they click off lap 188 here.
Coming to 10 to go this time around. Austin Wainsell now 2 car lengths off the back bumper of Frank Kimmel down the back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4. Austin Wainsell again using that extreme low line through turns 3 and 4. He's now 1 car length off of Frank Kimmel down in turn 1.
Austin Wainsel running that little lower groove out of turn 2. The gap stays stationary. Kimmel able to pull it to 2 car length. Kimmel takes the high line. Austin Wainsel dips to the low line here in the middle of turn 4.
Austin Wainsel not able to make up any ground that time around. We have 9 to go here for Frank Kimmel at Winchester. Kimmel now opening up a 4 car length lead down the backstretch. Austin Wainsel again looking down to the inside, trying to make up some ground. And Kimmel for the lead.
Only a couple lap cars ahead of Kimmel. Thomas Prater about 5-6 car length. Prater gonna move over and give Kimmel the preferred line. So no problems there for the 9-time champ. As he is first there, Austin Wainsel able to get by. So now just 7 laps to go. This time by Frank Kimmel comes across the start-finish line.
Frank Kimmel hoping not to have to deal with any more lap traffic. Thankfully, these lap cars rolling out of the way, giving Kimmel the groove. Frank now has just 6 laps to go this time around. 194 in the book, 6 to go for Frank Kimmel. This time past the stripe. Next car up to be put another lap down will be Kyle Benjamin. I don't know if Frank will catch him or not, as he has opened up a comfortable advantage on Austin Wainsel down the backstretch and into turns 3 and 4.
Frank's been running that high line. Austin Self been running a little bit lower in turn 3 and 4. I really think that it's been costing the 22 of Self a little bit of time, as he's really been searching the 22 in turn 1 and 2. He ran the bottom last time, he ran the top this time, just trying to make up and find a groove anyway.
Again, rolling to the outside of Milka-Duno through turns 3 and 4. Kyle Benjamin going to roll out of the gas and let the leaders flash to the outside down to turns 1 and 2. Everybody doing a good job to let these top 2 drivers race it out for the win here in the Herr's Chase the Taste 200. Coming to 3 to go. This time by for Frank Kimmel.
Kimmel trying to also continue that top 10 streak. His worst finish this year is his 7th, and that came last week on the road course. So Kimmel's average finish 3.2 as he comes to 2 to go. Austin Wainsel digging hard though out of turn 4.
Again, Austin Wainsel using the low groove through turns 3 and 4. He is able to close it into 2 car lengths as they have 2 laps to go here at Winchester. But Kimmel holding off Austin Wainsel down the backstretch and into turn 3 again. Austin Wainsel digging to the inside through turns 3 and 4 as the white flag waves. We are on the final lap here at Winchester. Austin Wainsel now all over the back bumper of Frank Kimmel as Kimmel makes his way down the back straightaway through turns 3 and 4. Can Kimmel race his way into the history book here at Winchester?
Frank Kimmel picks up win 79 here and win number 6 at the Winchester Speedway. Austin Wainsel comes home 2nd, Brennan Poole 3rd, 4th goes to Kyle Weatherman, and 5th goes to Mason Mitchell.
Frank Kimmel racing his way into history here at Winchester this afternoon, picking up career win 79 in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards, driving the number 44 Ansel Menards Toyota to victory lane here in the Herr's Chase the Taste 200 this afternoon.
And what a better place for this to happen. Frank, an Indiana boy, to get win number 79 in his home state. This is going to be a huge and emotional celebration for these Thor Sport guys and Frank Kimmel.
How about the performance today by Austin Wainsel in the number 22? We've talked about that car going to victory lane the last 2 years here with Dakota Armstrong back in 2011. Last year, Alex Bowman doing the job here in the number 22 car. Austin Wainsel really digging hard those last 10 laps. He closed that gap from about 10 car lengths to 1 car length on the last lap, but just couldn't get it done, as indeed Frank Kimmel racing his way into the victory lane for the 79th time in his ARCA career here at the Winchester Speedway.
This is already his 3rd win too in the 2013 season. He's the only repeat winner that we've had. Talladega, the rain short race, was his 1st win. He won at Elko in a great battle there, and he picks up his 3rd win of the young season, because this really marks the halfway mark. This is race number 10 of the 21 race schedule. So, you know, do the math, we're halfway. It says that maybe there's a few more of these things coming forward here as we move into what I call in the summer months Kimmel territory.
Well, I recall somebody on Inside ARCA earlier in the week maybe predicting we would see a Frank Kimmel win here today.
I believe.
I think so.
And it pains me
so.
to say, I believe it was you, Mr. Carl.
I don't want to hurt myself, pat myself on the back here too hard, but indeed, I did pick Frank to win. I think just based on experience alone that Frank was going to have the upper hand here today, and I think that's exactly what happened. And not taking anything away from the run that Mason Mingus had here today, but I think 4 years from now, maybe Mason Mingus doesn't get himself involved in that incident down in turns 1 and 2. And again, that's just something you've got to learn on the job, and there's really no other way to do it than doing it in race conditions. But boy, tough break for Mason Mingus here today. Maybe the only driver that could have kept Frank Kimmel out of victory lane here today.
And they say, you know, in racing, the old saying is to win one, you have to lose one first. And I think it's going to be a hard one to swallow for this young man, but he'll regroup and take a couple of weeks off. I know it's going to kill him to have 3 weeks off before we go racing again, and try to regroup here. Not sure if that young man was able to come home inside the top 10 to continue that streak.
We will take a look here in just a moment, but boy, tough break. When you talk about finishing in the top 10 week in and week out, Mason Mingus certainly has been able to do that. Yeah, I know it's a little hoarse as we've been screaming at the top of our lungs here, trying to be heard over the sound of the engines. Again, certainly, if you've stuck it out with us this long, I certainly appreciate you doing so. I know it had to have been tough as we were trying to scream over the sound of the engines here today, but hopefully you stuck with us, and if you did, you heard Frank Kimmel race his way into the history books, tying Iggy Katona 79 career wins here in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. And Tim, I actually had the privilege of being at his first career win back at the Toledo Speedway back in May of 1994, and I can't wait to talk to Frank and see, you know, what he remembers about that day, and if he ever imagined, you know, 19 years later, he would have collected 78 more checkered flags here in the ARCA Racing Series.
And the good news, when we were downstairs earlier, I saw the whole family walking in. So this was huge. You said Duke Thorsten, the owner of ThorSport Racing, was here. So everybody was kind of expecting this to happen this afternoon for this veteran of the series, and really the all-time winning champion. So great feat for this team. And also, he completed another feat here. He has gone a full year now, finishing every race inside the top 10, and his 25th top 10 in the last 26 races.
Very impressive. Ever since he has made that move over to ThorSport Racing, Frank Kimmel has been at the front week in and week out, and that is exactly what he needed to rejuvenate his career here in the ARCA Racing Series as he gets doused with Gatorade down in victory lane. ThorSport Racing team celebrating victory here today in the Herr's Chase the Taste 200.